You've done great reporting on it to bring it to everybody's attention, so I just felt that there needed to be some clarifying of the law and probably some buttoning up of the law.
A WRTV investigation prompts real results at the Indiana State House. A state senator has filed legislation in direct response to what our Kenney found. Gaps in the system meant to protect your child in the classroom. Good evening and thanks for joining us here at 6 o'clock. I'm Mark Mullins. Kara joins us with what she uncovered and how this bill will address that.
Senator Aaron Freeman filed Senate Bill 115. It would require staffing companies and contractors to share employee background check information with schools. Something we uncovered is not always happening. Aaron Freeman is a state senator, attorney, and a father.
My goal at the end of the day is just do everything I can to protect kids and make sure schools have the information that, we're making really good decisions in terms of who's in front of our kids.
He's concerned about something that happened in his district in Beech Grove City Schools. How did you find out about this?
You're reporting. I mean, you have been on this, and rightfully so, from the very beginning.
Mr. Lizelle, do you plan on teaching after this?
Former Beech Grove teacher's aide Michael Lizelle pleaded guilty in November to public indecency. He admitted to fondling himself while working at Beech Grove Middle School. Beech Grove City Schools hired Lizelle, not knowing he was previously arrested in 2014 for the same crime, public indecency. The 2014 charge was dismissed 6 months later, but experts we spoke with say the arrest should have come up in a criminal history check. The district says they never saw Lizelle's background check because Lizelle worked for staffing company Kelly Education, and Beech Grove says they pay the contractor to do those checks.
It's a tragic situation that never should have happened.
Freeman filed Senate Bill 115, which would require staffing companies and contractors to share employee background check information with schools, something that did not happen in Lizelle's case.
So you're kind of at somebody's discretion as to whether, do I have to give this information to the schools? I just believe that the information should be given to the schools, and the schools should know, and that way they can make the best informed decision.
Indiana law only requires schools to notify the Department of Education if an employee has been convicted of one of more than 30 charges, including rape, child molesting, and child seduction. However, public indecency is not on the list, even though the crime involves sexual activity in a public place. Senator Freeman's bill would add public indecency to the list of convictions schools have to share with IDOE.
Seeing your reporting, it was clear to me that, wait a minute, if we're not doing this now, this needs to happen.
The legislation also adds public indecency to the list of offenses that would allow IDOE to permanently revoke a teacher's license.
Every step forward is a step forward.
Ashley Nation is a survivor of alleged educator misconduct that happened at an Indiana school. She's been pushing lawmakers to close the gaps and better protect children.
I have sent email after email after email. I'm going to put it over 20. We'll put over 20.
Ashley supports Freeman's legislation.
Everything that we do from this moment forward in, changing and bettering these bills and closing those loopholes is good. It's all good. I would like to see more work towards prevention.
Freeman acknowledges no bill is perfect. This one does not come with a penalty for agencies that don't comply.
There's really not a provision that says if you don't do this, here's the hammer. And maybe that's, again, something we should work on. And I would hope that people follow the law.
Michael Lizelle's substitute teaching permit expired in 2020. He could teach again, but IDOE says if Lizelle were to reapply, the agency would review it and could deny it. Our investigation also found Beech Grove City Schools did not notify IDOE about Lizelle's charges. But again, under Indiana law, they don't have to unless the teacher is convicted of certain felonies. Freeman's bill does not make it a requirement for schools to report arrests or charges to IDOE, but he says he is considering including that in the future. Working for you, Kenney, WRTV.
Kara, thank you. We did reach out to Beech Grove City Schools for their response to the legislation, and they told us they applaud Freeman's efforts. The Indiana State Teachers Association says, quote, one of ISTA's top priorities is ensuring a safe and welcoming environment for students and educators. When crafting new education policy, the welfare of kids should be balanced against the rights and due process of educators. Senator Freeman's bill appears to do this, and we look forward to working with him on this piece of legislation, end quote. Kelley Education won't tell us which screening firm they used for Michael Lazelle's background check, and the company has not responded to several emails from WRTV Investigates asking what happened. They provided a statement this afternoon saying student safety is their primary concern. The company went on to say, quote, our employees undergo rigorous background screens to comply with current federal and state laws and district requirements to ensure only the most qualified substitute teachers are placed in classrooms. To the extent changes are made to current legislation, Kelley Education will comply with all new legislative requirements.